This Hello and welcome to my fourth video vlog for GAM3002 final year project, Windy Gun. This vlog will be mostly focusing on the final puzzle, but it will also be talking briefly about the ideas for the future puzzles in the second level. So, as you can see here in the image, the final puzzle is going to be split amongst two rooms. Part 1 will be the first part of the puzzle, and part 2, as you can probably gather, will be the second part of the puzzle. I got this idea mostly from Manifold Garden, where the player would need to do one thing at one part of the to complete one part of the puzzle, go to another part, complete another part of the puzzle to complete the whole puzzle as a whole. My design briefly changed from the sketches to the actual implementation because of some technical problems. So, the first puzzle is the puzzle on the left hand side. So the first change is that the player isn't moving the wind with the conveyor belts, they're actually moving a block. So this is mostly due to a technical problem where the wind caused problems with rising along with the conveyor belt, where they also caused winches to turn. So what I did instead was, instead of trying to figure it out, adapted it so a block would actually be spawning in and now be moved on the conveyor belt, and it will be used to destroy the wall. This also creates a sense of consistency throughout the game, as can be seen in the conveyor short puzzle before. So the player will need to get the conveyor belt from the middle point, using this wrench to get it to roughly here, use this wrench to get it to lift it up, to get a block to spawn from there to there, get wind zone to destroy this wall. It will also therefore be used to activate this plate. So all the plates also link up to what they activate. So if you throw this plate along, it'll go to part 2. So in part 2, what the player will be doing, if I go to the next image, is that the player will need to use both wrenches in this room to move the conveyor belt to here and lift it up with here. So the player will be able to move the conveyor belt back to its original place by using the chest to recall all the ammo, as previously stated in the previous video. After that, the items will start spawning and go onto this pressure plate here. This will therefore mean, if you're throwing this right along, it will take us to the next level. Open this door and take us to the next level. Pardon me. So this part was, I had a technical problem where these two winches were going against each other, and so the conveyor belt never really moved. So what I did solving this was that when this winch activates raycast down to the conveyor belt, it will disable this winch, so therefore it can be lifted up. Now that's also how I solved the winch, this above winch here. So basically it will send the raycast down to the conveyor belt, so then it can be able to lift it up and save it and store it into the game object variable in the IO list. No, in dialog script. So doing this, I passed the variables between both the wrench script and the wrench raycast script. So I'm sending down the raycast, and if it hits a tag name, so a tag name in this case will be conveyor belt. It will firstly start spawning in from the dispenser. It will disable the wrench that drags it from left to the left, and also save it as it will also put the hit object into the platform variable in wrench script, so it can therefore be enabled. So therefore we won't have any problems and errors, and so then it can also lift up, and then also we're having a platform line between the between the higher winch and between one of the children of the conveyor belt. So then it's always in the middle of the render. So that is it. Let's go on to actually playing the level. One thing I also forgot to mention was that, as stated in the part 1 image, this was an old winch, so that means, or newer winch, so that means it stayed up. But this didn't really work, and so I changed it to be a normal winch, especially as the wind is no longer being pushed along the conveyor belt. Right, so the first things the player will do when they reach the level is go to the part 1. So in part 1, the player will find some stairs here, which will therefore allow them to go to it. Reach the winch to start lifting. Of course, things might be still a bit weird or act strangely, but that's because it's Unity and because some is still a prototype, so there might be some errors still. So a block spawns in every 25 seconds, or every 25 frames, and this room has a total of 3 stairs, so then the player can change their height in order to be able to have a better view of the level. In addition to this, it also goes back into the theme of and narrative of the game, which is an abandoned lab. And so what will be happening here is narratively there will be 2 points, 1 point over there through the windows, which is where part 2 is, and 1 point over here and it will be comparing the strength. So let's just shoot the wind there, that destroys that, which then goes all the way around here and activates this plate. So if you follow this active wire, it will take the player to the next room. This room has gone through some changes within this final puzzle or next puzzle of the game. I'm going to be focusing on the idea of natural wind. Onto that. So natural wind is something that's already in the level without the player needing to be. Firstly, we need to disable water wind. So we go to the chest and press R. So that returns everything back to normal. So some ideas will be wind cancelling each other out. So as seen on that here in Unity, and then we shoot this winch. So this is just a testing scene where as stated in one of the earlier vlogs, the chest where is an easy way to allow for the resetting of the level mechanics. So this is testing out 2 winds. So while we wait for each other out from over here, so as you can see we have one wind going from the left to the right here, and the other wind going from the right to the left, and the player's in the middle. And you can see the player won't be able to move until it gets up. The player isn't being. So then we're going to wait for the wind. It's instead bouncing between this winch to move it. So I'll try and solve this bouncing. This is going to cause some until it might cause some below problems, and it also will shoot this winch up here. So now natural wind puzzle idea is to do that we can block in. Jump onto this block into natural wind. So getting a block here, conveyor belt or wall, and the player will move across with it. Something to block it. Okay, that's not good. Or using the wind to move from point A. So that's not what's supposed to go to plan, but it still illustrates what happens. The final idea is it opens the door and the game ends. To be able to, so what was supposed to happen there was that I forgot to set the count down. The idea isn't to use the conveyor belt to move the wind, but what's supposed to happen there is that the purpose of the it will spawn in one block every apart few seconds. The wind. Right, bye for now. That will thank you for watching, and this is the end of the video vlog. So next on, we talk about the next level. 2002. The next idea is going to be speaking to some of my colleagues. I already put in some feelers out. Just say, hey guys, I'm looking for people. I'm just waiting for a response.